Okay, good morning. It's always a pleasure to come down to. There are certain places that always we have to go down to. Sometimes you end up in all these places throughout the United States. To come down to Florida is always a pleasure. It's a nice thing, and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk to you about Kinyan Masechta a little bit. I spent a lot of time on the phone with your rabbi, Rabbi David. David. You'll hear a lot of that today. But either way, so just to get straight into it. So the truth is that, talking about Kinyan Masechta, it's a new, not so new already, it's around for 6-7 years. It's a methodology, a mahalech in learning to be able to retain your learning. And the truth is that sometimes I get caught up in it myself, in the fact that bli ayin hara, we're talking about, we probably have about close to 200 chaburot throughout the entire United States, ranging from Henderson, Nevada, throughout the entire, that's all down the West Coast, down to the East Coast, but almost every, I think we have about 29 states that are doing Kinyan Masechta. And we just started last week. I happened to be, I almost thought about flying down there. In South Africa, they just started seven new chaburs to start that. South Africa, but I think to myself sometimes, why is it spreading? There's never been an advertisement for Kinyan Masechta ever. You never opened up a Jewish newspaper and a Jewish, a Mishpacha magazine, and it said, "Oh, come join Kinyan Masechta." It never happened. So I think to myself, why do I get 10 phone calls a day about people starting to join? People want to join, they want to connect. Why? What's going on? What's unique? And sometimes I have to stop myself and I have to think for a moment, what's going on here? What are we offering that people are so excited? I don't even know how to Rabbi David hear about it.
Also, by word of mouth, actually from somebody in Eretz Yisrael.
In Eretz Yisrael?
My brother-in-law in Eretz Yisrael.
What's his name?
Abu Chatzira.
We have about 28 chaburs in Beit Shemesh. Yeah. We have about 28 chaburot in Beit Shemesh. He heard it from Eretz Yisrael to here. It's the Surfside. That's it. Everyone. Every time I start another group, it's always like, oh, this one heard from that one, and that one heard from this one, and you just got to try it. And I think that why are people so into it? Why are people trying to promote it? So I think that it's important first to understand what it is before we discuss how to do it. The first thing, what it is as follows: what is the goal of Kinyan Masechta? What is the goal? And I'll tell you, I thought about this a lot simply because I'm a 12th grade Rebbe in the 5 towns. That's not what I do. In fact, I have to take off shiur today, which almost never happens. Tomorrow morning I'm on a 6 a.m. flight back because that's not this. It keeps getting more and more. When I started, we started 1 chabur, 2 chaburs. I thought, what's the big deal? So I hope 2-3 chaburas start. Now it's a little bit. I can't stop it because people just want to continue doing it. So I thought to myself, and I had to stop. What's going on here? I thought to myself, what is the goal of Kinyan Masechta? What's the goal? And most people tell you that the goal is Kinyan. Kinyan, to be able to acquire your learning. A person learns he learns from yeshiva, he learns later on, he finishes Masechta, one Masechta after another, finishes. And Basof, you ask him a question, the question is, does he know? Does he retain? So Kinyan means that you acquire your learning. You learn it in a way that it's not just goes in one ear out the other. You learn it in a way that you truly gain your learning. But that's what I thought in the beginning was the goal. But that's not the goal. From all the feedback I got, the goal is very different. The way to get to the goal is Kinyan Masechta, but the goal is to feel Simchat Torah. That's the goal. To feel Simchat Torah. When we learn fast and we move and we go and we keep learning things that are confusing for us, and we don't have it clear in our heads, we don't retain it, there's very little simcha. Very little simcha. We do it. You know why we do it? We come every day. We're going to come every day to shiur and we learn and we move on. Why? Because we're good Jews. A good Jew learns every single day. He's supposed to learn. But we don't enjoy it. We don't enjoy it. We don't love it. We enjoy maybe as we're sitting there, but does it affect us? Does it change us? Do we feel an excitement? Oh wow, shiur's about to start. You know what I mean? Do we feel like a tremendous excitement? If you feel that, so Matov, excellent. But when a person is confused in his learning, it's very hard to feel that. Very, very hard to feel it. I think that it's an open Rashi. The Gemara says in the end of Tanit. You're going to start Tanit now in the Bezrat Hashem. The Gemara says at the end of Tanit, what? I think anyway because the Gemara says at the end of Tanit, the Gemara says that on Tisha B'Av, זה אסור ללמוד תורה, אסור to learn Torah. Why? בגלל שכתוב, פקודי השם ישרים משמחי לב. It makes a person happy. So Tisha B'Av is not a day for happiness, and that's why it's asur to learn. It's only mutar to learn dvarim shel avelut. What? Binyana dvarim shel avelut and things like that. Omer Gemara Shama, according to the Tanakh Kama Shama, he says as follows: if a person learns something, and it's the first time he's learning it, he's allowed to learn it on Tisha B'Av, anything he wants. Anything he wants. You can open up a Gemara Bava Kama and sit down to learn on Tisha B'Av. Makara, Pekudei Hashem Yisharim Mesamchei Lev, Makara Lesimchat Alev, Omer Rashi, Kishe Ben Adam Lomed, when a person learns, they don't even know. When a person learns something the first time, it's not something which he is accustomed to. Says Rashi, Yesh lo tsar. Kach Omer Rashi. He has pain. This is Rashi talking. So Rashi says when someone learns something the first time, it's lo ragil. He's not accustomed to it. He doesn't enjoy his learning. That's not what David HaMelech, when he said misamchei lev, that's not what he was talking about. Okay, when he said misamchei lev, he meant tov li torat picha me'alfei zav v'chesed. He really believed that. David HaMelech believed that he would drop a $10 million deal right now just so he could run to shiur. That's what he meant by misamchei lev. And says Rashi, if you never learned it before, is lo misamchei lev. So the point of Kinyan Masechta is lo rak not only that you'll have a Kinyan, but you'll feel a true misamchei lev, a real simcha in your learning, and that's something that's what I learned only from hearing back from people who did it. I'll tell you just a cute story. I got recently, must have been during the midwinter break now. Someone sent me, I love when people send feedback, it just gives chizuk to go on. But someone sent me a picture of him, I don't know who the person is, but he sent me a picture. He must have been on vacation in Cancun or Panama, I don't know, one of these exotic vacations. And his hotel room was going into the room itself had like a private pool right outside, his own private pool. And if that wasn't enough, inside the pool, he had like a hammock, that the bottom of the hammock was in the pool. So you're halfway out of the pool, halfway in the pool, your own private pool. Anyway, he sends me a picture. He's sitting there in his bathing suit, holding his Gemara on the hammock, halfway in the pool. Yeah. Okay, cute picture. But what he wrote on the picture, that's what I enjoyed. He wrote on the picture, thank you, Kinyan Masechta. I don't know who the person is. Thank you, Kinyan Masechta. He wrote, this became my new chill. That's what he wrote. A young guy, this became my new chill. What does that mean, this became my new chill? What I took out from that was, when people go on vacation, everybody dreams of a vacation. What does vacation mean to you? Does vacation mean everybody wants to shut off from all stress? Any stress they have in life, they want to shut off. If they need doctor appointments, I don't want to hear about doctor appointments. If they're busy with business, I don't want to hear about business. If they're busy answering emails, I don't want to hear about emails. They want to just relax. Everybody wants to go on vacation and they want to relax. Most people, when they go on vacation, they want to relax from their Judaism also. Why? Because it's a stress. I got to wake up for Shacharit. I got to go to my shiur. I got to learn. I want to relax. Don't tell me what time to wake up. Don't tell me where to go. Don't tell me what time to live. Right? What he was saying.
Some people are all year like that.
They're ready on vacation.
I do
all year on vacation.
Every word.
Yeah.
When the rabbi here, I enjoy every word.
He's willing to give up $10 million deal.
There you go. Yeah, he's willing.
I dropped $10 million. I dropped $10 million. I go pick up a plate.
Anyway, but the point is that everybody vacation means leaving go of all stress. Don't tell me to wake up earlier. This guy, this became his vacation. When he looks at the Torah, when he looks at the Gemara now, it's not a stress. This is a part of my vacation. This became my new chill. This is a you know what I mean? That's what it's accomplishing. So the point is, the first thing to understand about Kinyan Masechta is, this is not just another shiur starting. You have Daf Yomi, you have Daf Hashavua, you have this shiur. This is not another shiur. If it's just another shiur, we missed the boat. It's very nice. Every word of Torah is amazing, and I'm not taking away. But it's not the point of Kinyan Masechta. That's not the point. The point of Kinyan Masechta is that we should feel a certain simchat alev that we never felt before. And if we do it right, and you follow along the way we're going to speak about it, you're going to see that it's extremely possible and easy to accomplish this feeling of Simchat Alev. I would tell you that the main focus of Kinyan Masechta is chazara, review. That's the main focus, to review your learning. Now the truth is, so what is Kinyan Masechta? From Har Sinai Kvar, Har Sinai, they already have Chazara. Well, what you know what I'm saying? Moshe Rabbeinu did Chazara. He taught the Yidden, he taught them 40 times. I'm saying we know about this. So what's the chidush? What are we bringing to the table? I think one of the main things we're bringing to the table is we made it. You'll see that not only is it attainable, so it becomes easy. The way we're going to tell you how to do it, it becomes easy to feel this Simchat Torah. It's not like, you want to feel Simchat Torah? No problem, learn for 20 hours a day. That's not what we're saying. You want to feel this Simchat Halev that we're talking about? Follow this program easy, in an easy fashion. You'll feel something you never felt before in your life. You'll feel something you never felt before in your life, and it's something which is absolutely phenomenal. And this is the feedback. I learned this myself, because this is the feedback that I've been getting from people, just how much enjoyment, how much, I got an email from someone. He's actually going to speak by the event tonight. Rabbi Center, he's a Rosh Yeshiva in Eretz Yisrael, and he deals with a lot of young teenagers, coming to Israel after 12th grade and so on and so forth. Anyway, he sends me an email. He keeps up with his boys, a married Talmud, and he writes to me, you got to read, he forwards me an email. What was the email? A boy tells him that his Shalom Bayit was saved. That means he had problems fighting. Shalom Bayit was saved. Why? So he says to him, wow, did you see a therapist? I'd like to know the name. I want to suggest to other people. He says, no, Kinyan Masechta. Kinyan Masechta, Shalom Bayit. What's the connection? So I'm not sure myself what the connection. I'm telling you the email he sent me. But the guy who wrote it is that his life changed. When you start feeling Simchat Torah, it's not just about my chiyuv to learn, my obligation to learn. It's not just about, I have 4 parts to my life. I have my family, I have my business, I have my learning, my tefillah. It's not about that. It becomes part of your life. You feel accomplished, you feel excited, you feel it's all, you bring it into the home, your wife starts respecting you. It becomes a whole different anyway, he says it saved the Shalom Bayit. I just agav about the event tonight, which I hope to see as many of you as possible. This is why we have the event. Bli Ayin Hara, just Kinyan Masechta is blowing up. We make usually once a year, we make an event in New Jersey, in Bellworks. It's a big conference center. The Mir Yeshiva makes over there. Anyway, over there we have 2,000 people come from every part of the United States. We sit in a room, we learn for 45 minutes straight. The atmosphere, it's meeting people from all over there doing Kinyan Masechta. And then we make sure to wine and dine everybody to show the proper chashivut for what you're doing. Because of COVID, we didn't do that big one, so we're doing regional ones. So tonight we have about 200 people coming to Highland Lakes, and I hope to see all the. There's never anybody who came that regretted it. You'll walk out wine in the Gashmiut. You'll be taken care of well. Hopefully, Beruchniut also you'll enjoy very much. You walk out very inspired. But anyway, the point is that people come because they want to share this simcha together. That's what this is about. So now I just want to discuss with you exactly how it goes, and Bezrat Hashem, you'll follow it, and I'll get my next stories for the next Chabur will come from here. I'll be able to say stories about these guys in the Surfside. I'm saying we're able to spread it out. Anyway, so here goes. The first and foremost thing I want to just speak about is 3 unique parts about Kinyan Masechta, which is different than any other Chabura, and then we'll talk about the 4 steps. The 3 unique things is, number 1 is, there is no such thing as pace. There's no such thing as pace. Pace.
Pace.
Yeah, mirut. There's no such thing as how much you have to do, which means as follows. Generally, when a person wants to accomplish, so he has to do either daf yomi, daf hashavua, amud yomi, amud halacha yom, whatever. Everybody wants to do a certain amount. By us, there's 0 pace. Every single chabura is holding in a different place. Why? Because it's dependent. Pace is a contradiction. It's a stira to clarity. You can't enjoy, efshar for a person to enjoy his learning if it's not clear. If you learn something, if I give you a book to read in Chinese and you read, you're not going to enjoy the book. It could be the best novel that ever existed. But if it's confusing, you don't know what's flying. If Gemara is confusing for you, if it's not clear, there's no way to review it, and there's no way to own it, to make a kinyan, and therefore there's no way to really enjoy it, like David HaMelech's Misam Chelev, impossible. So the first thing is that it can't be with a pace. It's all about clarity. What does that mean, clarity? Clarity means that when Reb David is going to prepare the shir, he's not preparing kushiyot and different rishonim. He's preparing what is every word in the Gemara, makatuv. What's the translation? If the Gemara says ihachi, if so, we take it very, yeah. No, ihachi that kach vekach. Lo shanu. The Gemara says we didn't learn lo shanu b'mishnah kach vekach. Speak it out. Every word, every phrase accounted for. Clarity, zero pace. I just finished Megillah with the chabur that I give in the mornings in the 5 towns in New York. And when we finished Megillah, so there were certain dapim that we were able to do chatzi amud or a full amud in one day, one shiur, because it was easy Gemara. Then in the beginning of the Masechta, where it says ein bein, all the different mishnayos, yesh mishnayot over there that are a little bit complicated. There were days I did one line. That doesn't matter to me, as long as it was clear. And now, when we finished Megillah, and we already reviewed it over 15 times, now you walk over to any one of my guys that are working guys, very little yeshiva background, you walk over to them, you ask them, tell me, read me the Gemara, ein bein, mitzorah, musgar, mitzorah, mukhlat. In a second, they read it to you. Because they have it on their fingertips. They know it perfectly. They know it perfectly. I'm going to say a short, when I did with my chabura sukkah, you're talking about boys, the guys that I give chabura to are 40-year-olds, 40-year-old guys, hustling to make a living, everybody today, especially in New York, I know, but here, they have 3 jobs, I'm saying, when they come home, that's when they start the Amazon job, it's only once they finish the regular job. Anyway, they're hustling a whole day, but 6:45 in the morning, every morning, they come to my shiur, Kinyan Masechta. Anyway, we did Masechet Sukkah. It took us over 2 years. Masechet Sukkah, over 2 years. We finished it 20 times. At the 20th Siyum, I took them to Eretz Yisrael. I put together some money and I flew them to Eretz Yisrael. Asinu Siyum Sham. I'm not putting pressure. Anyway, if it gets so they, if they get to 20 times, But anyway, I went to one day. We went to the Gedolim in Bnei Brak. We went to get the brachot from them. So we went to all different ones. Anyway, we came to Rabbi Zilberstein. He's the he's the brother-in-law of Rabbi Kanievsky. Anyway, so we went to him, and he's a very warm person. So he sits us around the table. He's rubbing our cheeks, and he sits there and he says, sukkah. Fine. Anyway, B'kitzu, he wants me to translate. He's going to speak in Hebrew, and I should translate for them. So he starts telling me over something that the Vilna Gaon said. Gaon mi Vilna said that any question that comes up in the entire Shas, you could find the Gemara in Sukkah that clarifies it. So he says that he went to his brother-in-law, Reb Chaim Kanievsky, and he saw that he had a Masechet Gittin on his stender, and he says to him, what? He says, where is there a question in Masechet Gittin that you could clarify from Sukkah? Anyway, so one of my guys, before I had a chance to translate, he thought that Rabbi Yitzchak Zilbershein was saying, he thought, where does it mention get in Masechet Sukkah? That's what he thought. So he blurts out, twice in the second parak, one on Chav Beis and one on Chav Daled. So Rabbi Yitzchak Zilbershein stops, and he says, I'm rotzim sheilot. They want questions. And I said, no questions. They don't want questions. We're okay. I was nervous. One of the Gedolim were going to start asking questions. I say 20 times and they don't know a word. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I was no. Anyway, he said, no. Kanireh shem rotzim. They want. And I'm going to sit and fight with him. For 20 minutes, he grilled. 20 minutes, one question after another. The whole Masechta, they were firing back in split seconds. I never had more nachat in my life. These are working guys, 40-year-olds. Before they started Kinyan Masechta, they didn't open. One of them told me he didn't open up a Gemara for 14 years after he got married. Did not open up a Gemara. He was busy working, children, this and that. So he listened to the rabbis, the Rasha on Shabbos, but did not open a Gemara. 14 years. Now he has 4. By now we're finished 4 Masechtot. He has on his fingertips like this. You can ask him a word; he'll tell you exactly where it is. Not because he's bright, because he reviewed it 1,000 times. Now you tell me, you think he feels Simchat HaTorah? You think a guy like that could talk with one of the Gedolim in Eretz Yisrael, could talk with them and schmooze with them? You think he doesn't feel Simchat HaTorah? That's real Simchat HaTorah. So that's what I'm saying. There's no pace. It's all about the clarity. That's the first unique thing. I don't think any other type of learning has that. There's no pace. Period. The second unique thing is that, like we spoke at a moment ago, we're going to see in the Mehalech, in the methodology, we're going to see that the Chazara became easy. I think, maybe I'm wrong, most people who do Daf Yomi, they want to review it. I think most people want. Nobody wants to learn Daf Yomi and say, okay, I'm going to forget it. They want to review it. Just who has time? You come in the morning early to learn the Daf Yomi. It comes nighttime. You're tired already. Your head's not working. You have to sit down for an hour to review the whole Daf. Sometimes the Daf is easy. Sometimes very hard, right? So people want to review, which is very hard. What Kinyan Masechta did is it made review easy, and you'll see when we say the 4 steps, you'll see it became easy. Now the third unique thing is that Kinyan Masechta is very, very makpid that it should be a family feeling. So Bnei Nara looks like over here everybody's from the same shul with a great rabbi, and they're able to connect. But you have to have a family feeling, and I'll explain why. I'll explain why it's so important. In fact, I would tell you that's probably half of our budget. Half our budget, probably $500,000 a year. We send to each Rosh Chabura, we send a reimbursement form, whatever they spend on the Chabura. Thursday night, I don't know what's fired Shalom, this and I don't know what you guys like. But anyway, but whatever food, you know what I'm saying? To create a feeling of mishpacha. Why is that so important? Why? The reason why is because one benefit that Pace has, that Bonagid Daf Yomi has, one benefit is that you feel a pressure of motivation to do every day. Because what happens, you had a wedding, and you come back 11, 12 o'clock at night, you're dead tired, you didn't do your daf that day. Whatever, it didn't work out, you didn't do that. So what do? You pull out an art scroll, and you do that daf. Why? Because by tomorrow, you're going to have 2 daf if you don't do the first daf. So there's a motivation every day to review. When you have no pace, which is Kinyan Masechta, so you come home 12 o'clock at night, you sit there like, another review? I'm really tired, I'll save it for tomorrow. And you lose that motivation of being able to push daily. And this only works if we don't lose the Yomi part. This only works if we don't lose Kinyan Masechta's Yomi. It's not Daf Yomi, but it's Yomi. I mean, it has to become a part of your lives. If it becomes a part of your lives, then it works. So what does it help to have a mishpacha? In my Chabura, we have a WhatsApp chat. We have a WhatsApp chat, I can show it to you afterwards. And on the WhatsApp chat, every single day, when the people finish reviewing what they're supposed to review that day, they write on the chat, done. They write done. When I come home 12 o'clock at night from a wedding, I open up my chat and I suddenly see 14 guys wrote done. I think to myself, oh man, they're waiting for my done. I didn't do it yet. Now, it takes me 5 minutes to do the chazal. I'll explain in a moment why it's so easy. But I sit down and do it because there's a camaraderie. We have an achrayut to each other. We're responsible for each other. We're a family. We're a chevra. We're not just. That's why you'll see when it comes to Kinyan Masechta, we don't call it shiurim. It's called chaburot, chaburas. It's chabura. It's a chevra. What? Yeah, chevra. That's what it is. A chevra of people together because it has to be. If a person thinks, I'll show up, I don't show up, I'll do the review, I won't do the review, so then he's affecting everybody else. Then the whole chabur becomes just an easy shear where you go slow, which is nice. Again, I don't want to take away from that, every word of Torah, but that's not what we're talking about. It becomes just a nice shiur that people come 3 times a week, they learn Gemara slowly, Eze Yofi. And again, it's nice, but that's nothing to do with what we're talking about. So it needs to have that family achrayut to it. So let's very quickly go through the 4 steps, and we'll end with this, Bezrat Hashem. The 4 steps, and you'll see why it's easy as follows. Step 1 is in the shiur, like we spoke out, there's no pace whatsoever, and it's all about clarity. Now, clarity means that Reb David is going to make sure to read every word, every phrase translated, what the Gemara means, what the question was, what the answer was, before questions. By me, the guy can ask a question, I know it's the Rajba's question, the Reb Kiege's question, I don't answer him. I write it down, his question, and I tell, after the 10th Chazara, we'll talk about it. And I go over to him after 10th Chazara, and 95% of the time, either it's not, he has no idea what he asked, or he already has an answer. Because people get caught up in good questions right in the beginning. They didn't read the Gemara yet. They didn't learn the basic Gemara. The Stipler wouldn't look at a Rashi for 10 times before he looked at the Gemara. I mean, we're talking about straight up Gemara. Okay. Anyway, B'kitzur, that's step 1. Okay, I see I touched some nerves. Step 1. Huh? Yeah.
Saying Stipler go.
Anyway, so what happened? We have over here, step 1 is again, clarity. That's it, just clarity. Clarity means, again, every word, every phrase, every question, every answer, no pace. And writing in your Gemara, you can take pencils, we'll send you better ones if you want. Writing in the Gemara, any word you think you might not know, don't take an art scroll. Because an art scroll means that you're not the driver. It's amazing, I use art scroll all the time, amazing. But you're the passenger. They did the driving, you're the passenger. When you make your own Gemara with your own words, the way you understood it, it becomes yours. You're the driver. you'll be able to know this Gemara well. So write in your Gemara. There's a hard word, there's a hard phrase, there's a ihachi, if so, that what? You write one line inside the Gemara. I would encourage writing. People think that writing's for younger people. When I started writing my Gemara, I started finally remembering my Gemara. You write. The Rabbi Kiva used to write. He wrote what he needed to write, and we write what we need to write. But write in the Gemara, that's all step one. Step one is getting clarity, no pace, writing in the Gemara. Step two is on the spot to review twice. Now, I'm going to explain why this is so important. So, for example, if the shul starts 7:45, when does it end?
Whatever, 8:15, 8:10, whatever.
8:15. So really, that's the whole. That's the whole time.
The Rav said half an hour, no, maximum.
Maximum of a shul. But I'm saying,
sure. And then afterwards, 15 minutes of chazara. So
you tell me. So it's going to be 45 minutes total.
Yeah.
45 minutes. So there's going to be maybe a 25 minute shul. That's it. The shul itself is 25 minutes. After the 25 minutes, on the spot, you chazer 2 times. And I'll explain why that's so important. Because I don't know if you ever heard Rabbi David's drasha on Shabbos morning, and he gives a beautiful drasha, and you come home to your wife and you say, how was the drasha this morning? You say, amazing. And you say, okay, you want to repeat it? You say, sure. You understood the drasha was clear in your head, you understood everything was great. And then you start repeating it, and somehow you end up in different parashiyot, and you don't know what's flying. What happened? What happened from when he said it till when you repeated it? The answer is because if you didn't say it with your mouth, as clear as it is in your head, it's not yours yet. You don't own it yet. It's only yours if you're ready to sit down and review it yourself with your own mouth. So the shiur can't go too long because there has to be leftover time for 2 times on the spot to review. Okay? That's the second thing. The third thing is, and this sounds hard, but I'll explain to you why it's so easy. 2 times review on your own time. On your own time, meaning till the next shiur. From one shiur till the next shiur, 2 times yourself. Why? Why is it so important? Because 2 reasons it's so important. Besides it's another 2 reviews, but also we have to make it, like we spoke out, this yomi. It has to become a part of your life. If learning is a side factor, meaning to say, I have my business, my family, and then I go to shiur, I learn, but I don't do it on my own time, you'll never remember, you'll never feel the simcha. The simcha is you have to be able to learn on your own time twice. Now I want to explain to you why it's so easy. Think about it for a moment. The whole shiur was a half hour. In that half hour, you did it extremely slowly, clearly, and you wrote in your Gemara whatever you had to do, whatever you had to remember. You already reviewed it twice. So how long does it take you to review on your own time? 5 minutes at most. At most 5 minutes. 7 minutes if you're really slow and meticulous. I mean, you're talking about, it's minimal time. It's almost like inexcusable not to review. When I learned Daf Yomi, I want to review Daf Yomi, but I have to sit down for an hour. I have to find a good hour to sit down and review Daf Yomi. I can't just grab 5 minutes and review it. Here, it became so easy to be done. 5-minute review. Between Mincha and Arvit, after Arvit, after Shacharit, you sit for 5 minutes before you run out. Before Shacharit, whatever you want. You take out your Gemara, 5 minutes, you already reviewed that day's learning. It becomes so easy to be done. It's crucial to be done. If you want to feel what we're talking about, you have to be able to review on your own time. But at the same time that it's crucial, it's easy. It's very easy to be done. And the fourth and final step is Shabbat. Shabbat to review the whole week's learning. Every day that we spoke out now was just every day's learning. So for example, if there's a shiur on Sunday, so just that Sunday shiur is what you're reviewing. If there's a shiur on Tuesday, so just Tuesday's shiur is what you're reviewing. On Shabbat, you take the week's learning and review it again twice. Why is that so important? Besides it being another 2 reviews, but more importantly is that we know that the way Gemara works is that sometimes it's not 10 lines here and 5 lines here. Sometimes, it takes a whole amud, a whole daf till it explains the whole sugya. When a person learns on Shabbat, it really clicks in, he puts it all together. So it comes out that by the end of the week, you're reviewing 6 times. You review 2 times right after the shiur. You review 2 times on your own time at night, and then on Shabbat, you review 2 times.
2 times on your own?
Yeah.
2 times on your own?
On Shabbat.
Oh, Shabbat 2 times also on your own, yeah.
On your own.
On your own, yeah. Unless you want, you can make a chabura your Shabbat, but I'm saying, it's the achrayut of the, yeah. And also very short, because you already reviewed. Yeah, right, but it's only 3 days, and every day you didn't have a pace. So every day, let's say, Bonagid, you did 15 lines. So Basof Shabbat is 45 lines. We're not talking about, we're talking about small amounts. 45 lines, and you already reviewed it. Each one of those lines 4 times. Yeah, but I'm just saying, but the point is that, but anyway, so that's what it is. So it comes out short. Now, you may ask me, how do you get to 15 times? How do you get to 15 times? How do you get to 20 times and so on and so forth? The answer is because we don't have a pace. so the rabbi could choose and do whatever he wants. Lemashal, when I just spoke about the Ein Bein Gemarot, the Mishnayot Ein Bein in Megillah, so it was a very hard Gemara. When I finished one Ein Bein to the other, it was maybe a half Amud. But I said, guys, next 2 days, we're not going further. We're reviewing again. Because now that we have it clear, let's pound it away. Review it again. I finish a perek. I go through the whole perek again with the guys. We sit down, guys, we're reviewing now the whole perek. In fact, we just finished Masechet Tamid. 2 days ago we finished Masechet Tamid, right before Shabbat. And now my whole Chabur, we're reviewing. If you walk in 6:45 in the morning to where I'm teaching, with my Chabur, there's no shiur. We're all sitting down, and every day we're reviewing. And we're going to review it now 2-3 times. So every because there's no pace, you could take off 2 days. Whatever. There's always whatever could enhance the enjoyment and the excitement of really getting to know it. So that's it. It's like Daf Yomi. He'll do Rashi, of course.
No, but review.
No, it means say it like this. It's like a Daf Yomi shir, which is just like a Daf Yomi shir. You explain it with Rashi, but it's without doing the Rashis inside. If there are guys that want to do Rashis inside after the 6th Chazara.
After 6.
Yeah. Yeah, meaning the regular week's Chazara.
So we never really branch out to other Mepharshim.
No, so I'll tell you like this. So that's a good point. So I remember when I started my first Chabura in Lakewood. So Lakewood, you have guys, the Chabura that I started, they sat in Kolel for 10 years and then went to work. So when I told them no Rashi, this and that, they were upset. They were like, So I went to speak to a big adol in America, Rabbi Orlansky in Brooklyn, and he said to me something amazing. He said, if Kinyan Masechta was Bikiyut, then you're right. Bikiyut should be done with Rashi. Daf Yomi, it's even less than Bikiyut. If you want to learn, right? How do you say Bikiyus? Bikiyus.
It's like not the opposite of in depth.
Bikiyus. Anyway,
superficial.
If you want to learn it superficially, Bikiyus, of course you should do Rashi.
Bikiyus
For general
basically
knowledge.
Somebody that you know already and you're reviewing.
That's it. I don't think what people call that. You're right, but that's not what people.
That's the way it is.
Yeah, people
That's
call
what
Bikiyus.
Bikiyus is.
Right, people
Bikiyut
Bikiyus.
Elmaleh.
Biyun.
Keep the Mashal?
No. Yeah, you're right.
It comes from the word, but it's not there.
It's funny,
It's not
but
there.
that's no.
I think you become a baki with you learn a lot of bakiyas, so then you start becoming a baki in it. But if you're learning bakiyas is the exact opposite of iyun. Iyun is depth, profound. Bakiyus are yoter superficial.
Right.
But
But anyway,
anyway,
Bakiyus, bottom line is that Bakiyus, he said, Kinyan Masechta is step 1 to Be'iyun. That's the words he used to me. It's step 1 to Be'iyun, which means to say that first worry about the clarity of what it says here. This is what he told me. He says people in yeshivot, they read the Gemara one time, and right away they're discussing a machloket Rashi with Tosfot you didn't even read the Gemara yet. You read the Gemara one time and you're ready to discuss. You know how many times Rashi read the Gemara before Katav Rashi? Ulai 1000 pam. At least 1,000 times before Rashi. Tosfot, who knows how many. We right away wrote. So this shiur is step 1. The shiur. Now, if you want later to take a biyun, matova maneim. That's the best thing in the world. But this shiur is just, let's first get the Gemara clear, what it says. Then you can always worry about it afterwards. Ma katuv po. That's what. Let's understand the Gemara well. And when you become a baki in this type of bikiyut, then here. So this Chabur in Lakewood, I told them this, and they did it regularly. They did it Kinyan Masechta. When they finished Masechet Sukkah, which also took them 2 years, they finished Masechet Sukkah. They went to a new Masechta. They learn in the mornings, but they opened up a night seder for anybody who wants to learn Sukkah Be'iyun. And these are guys that sat in Kolel, and they told me that they never in their life Iyun like this. They have the Masechta Sukkah on their fingertips. They see Tosfot quotes of Gemara with the whole thing. So they actually did it. But that's after. This shiur is step 1. Step 1 is let's get the Gemara clear and don't get caught up in all these questions, because otherwise people start losing the clarity. Anyway, so that's the 4th step. We're talking about Chazara, review. Let's review quickly the 4 steps. Step 1 is pace, no pace, clarity, writing in your Gemara. Step 2 is Chazara on the spot, twice review on the spot. Make sure that it's yours, not just the rabbi's. Step 3 is Chazara on your own time, very easy to be done, but you got to be consistent about it. I would encourage the chat, because that brings out the camaraderie. And we don't want to lose, and we don't want to lose the yomi, we don't want to lose the daily. And then there's and the 4th step is Shabbat. to be able to review all the times. And after that, already the rabbi will institute as many. I'll give you just one more example. I'm ending with this. I know I'm talking for a long time already. I'm ending with this. For example, Motzei Shabbat was very early the past few months, right? So in my Chabura, every once a month, I put out a Malav Malka for the guys. We come and we learn for an hour and a half straight. Now they learn only review, so they're able to cover in an hour and a half, three dapim, 4 dapim, because they know it like this. So that's another review. I do whenever I can. Sunday mornings, whenever I'm off from yeshiva, Sunday morning, I put out a breakfast and we learn for an hour. What in that hour they review again for them. So there's constant reviews. But that's already, you'll do at your discretion. But the daily things are the 4 things we mentioned. That's the daily. Okay, anyway, I wish you tremendous hatzlacha. The Hashem, you'll feel the simchat Torah we're talking about.
1 second. So right before we finish.